Howdy, peeps. It's your friendly opining porcupine. And guess who's back? That's right, Aziz Ansari. Today we're going to talk about Aziz Ansari and his new Netflix special right now. For those who maybe have been missing a year or kind of need to be caught up, Aziz Ansari is a famous, popular comedian. He was on Parks and Rec, had his own Netflix show, and then about a year ago or so, basically he went on a bad date. This is right during the Me Too movement, and someone published in a website called babe.net her experience going on a date with Aziz. And basically, in my opinion, what it described was just an awkward first date, very awkward sexual advances, nothing criminal, nothing that I would call sexual abuse. They were just trying to figure out what each side wanted. And basically, after this article was published, Aziz kind of went into hiding. No one heard from him for several months, I would say at least a year. But this week, guess what? He released his latest Netflix special. The Netflix special is called Right Now. It's actually directed and produced by Spike Jonze. I thought that was pretty interesting. He was involved. Obviously, there's a lot of big names who don't consider Aziz on the same level as Harvey Weinstein or some of these other despicable individuals that got caught up in this whole Me Too movement. But it was a very interesting special. Just to give you my take on it, just the very start of the special, you could tell is very different than any of his other specials. Aziz Ansari is very bombastic, very animated on stage. He's kind of loud and makes all these kind of elaborate movements, walking, stage left to stage right, very animated. And right now, he's basically just sitting on a stool the entire time. And if you look at his demeanor and, his face, he's kind of slouched. He looks a little bit gaunt compared to some of his other specials. Is kind of very toned down demeanor compared to what we typically see with Aziz. The setting was also kind of dark. For some strange reason, I guess Spike Jonze chose to take a shot where you could see people hanging out in the backstage or something like that while Aziz was talking. And that was just, to me, it was a little bit awkward. It kind of also just set sort of a somber tone to it. As far as the incident goes that got him in trouble last year, he barely mentions it, and the way he mentions it is basically that he learned from the incident and he kind of apologized for how his behavior was perceived. I didn't really think that he needed to do it, needed to apologize. It wasn't very funny how he kind of mentioned it. He did poke fun at himself about, having other things happen that could possibly make his year any worse. That was kind of interesting. Also, one thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, he apologizes for his past comedy. He's talking about a bit he did on Parks and Rec about putting a camera in a little teddy bear, and thought, that would be so inappropriate now. But that was kind of the whole gist of the special, was comparing 2019 and our current level of wokeness compared to things that he's done in the past and compared to where society was in the past. And for that, I think he did an awesome job poking fun at how woke people try and be. Basically, white people try and out-woke each other, and it's some sort of a woke Olympics. But the only people who are really playing this game seem to be white, middle-class males. And I thought that was pretty interesting. He had a little bit where he's making fun of woke white people. He's talking about, how they basically read a think piece, and now they're going to read that think piece to you, and how basically, for some strange reason in society, things don't become racist until white people figure it out. Obviously, he does a much better job than I can try and explain it, but it was funny stuff. He also had a great bit about the swastika pizza. So if you watch this episode, or before you watch it, I kind of want to get your feedback of what you think about the swastika pizza, because apparently that was a thing, right? Yeah. So when you watch the special, you'll know what I mean. But that was a awesome bit. He basically tore into the crowd, went out as far as explaining how, oh, you're either in a camp of you must consume all this media, must, you know, must know every single type of story that's going on and what's relevant, and or you're in this camp that basically you are just trying to opine to be on the to basically virtue signal or to tribe signal, basically to demonstrate to others what side of the debate you're on in some ridiculous story like a swastika pizza. Anyways, I thought overall it's a great special. It's a great comedy special. Not as great as some of his past works, but it was funny. There's some definitely funny parts in it. Made me chuckle. Great pop culture political commentary in it mixed around. And it's good to see him on stage again. I kind of hope his next special, he's back to his old Aziz, and he's more animated and it's not as somber. Real quick, he did do this a really interesting thing. I want to get your feedback on it, where he basically had the audience sit and close their eyes and think about how much time they spend with their loved ones and how much time they spend with their parents and how much time they're going to have left. I thought it was very touching. I'm not too sure it worked in a comedy special, but if there was a comedy special that this would work in, it was definitely Aziz's Right Now. So I thought it was very touching, kind of pulling on the heartstrings and all that. But overall, it kind of made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. I couldn't imagine how it would feel being in the audience. There's also another great audience interaction involving son and a dad and his two kids. That was great. But overall, good show. Very entertaining. About on a level of Netflix comedy specials, I would probably give this a 9 or 10. As far as overall comedy, I'd say maybe 7.5, 8. It's good, it's entertaining, it was funny, it was everything that needed to happen. Alright guys, well that's it. Prepare for some more videos coming up. If you like these sort of review videos, let me know and we'll do some more.